What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome to The Nerdy Narrative, a channel I use to talk about all of the things that I read. Today, I'm going to talk to you about Ungodly by Braedon Riddick. This is an amazing debut that is also self-published. It is a standout read of 2021 for me. It is one of my top 5 books. If there had been anything else published by Braedon Riddick, I would have already purchased it and already been reading it. It's that good. He is that good as an author. Very methodical, very deliberate. Everything made logical sense. This is a supernatural book, leans heavily into science fiction. It all made sense. It made perfect sense. I 100% found this believable. It was just explained so well. And it wasn't done in terminology that I didn't understand. Like, it was intelligently written, but in a way that you could understand. The prose is gorgeous. Just the amount of information and the story that took place in these few pages is blowing my mind. Auto buy, I will read anything Braedon Riddick puts out. Plain and simple. So why did I read it? How did this book get on my radar? Well, one of my subscribers, Heidi Locke, messages me one day and she says, "Have you heard of or read Ungodly by Braedon Riddick?" I said, "No, I haven't actually heard of that one." She said, "Look, go add it to your Amazon wishlist. I want to send it to you." So what is Ungodly about? The duration of our story takes place on a college campus. It's very isolated, called Palisade Mountain College. It's a very small community. It sounds gorgeous. A place I would love to visit, actually. Very quickly into the story, we meet Amanda Baker, our main character, who's a college student on campus. One night in her dorm room, it is very late. She sees a red light coming from the abandoned dormitory that is adjacent to hers. She goes over to the window. She's looking, trying to figure out what the source of it is. And she sees a figure outlined in a window that's about 9 or 10 stories high. There's some other things happening that I'm leaving out because it's just something you need to experience organically when you're reading the story. But the gist of it is, she sees this figure jump. So she calls the police to report a suicide. Only problem is, there's no body found, and now all of a sudden they're looking at her thinking perhaps she may have had too many drinks or she took some drugs. So they're trying to get the truth out of her as to what happened by saying, we could arrest you for filing a false suicide report. And that's where our story really takes off. A series of paranormal, mysterious events that are taking place in and around the college campus and the town, the community. People are doing things they would not normally do. They're just losing control, or it's things that they have done, but it's amped up and you're just not sure what's causing it. As the story progresses, you start getting an idea of what you think may be going on here. And I was wondering, are we going to get an explanation? Is the author going to spoon feed me with, yes, this is what's happened, this is how it's happened, this is why? And here's what I love. We got a beginning, we got a lead up, we got the history of what had been happening, we got an explanation for what caused it, how it started it. We got a resolution. We got an ending. The ending was so good, so bittersweet. It left me smiling, but I still had tears in my eyes, if that makes any sense whatsoever. It will make sense if you read the book. For a horror story, it checked all of my boxes. We started out, he gave me a taste of what was to come. Hooked me line and sinker in those first few pages. Then for me being a character-driven reader, even though that doesn't really apply to horror stories for various reasons, mostly because in horror books, everybody dies except for maybe one to tell the story. So I try not to get attached to characters when I read horror. But here, it was impossible not to like the characters, especially the main two, Amanda and Brian. They felt like people I know, people I grew up with, went to college with. They felt so genuine, so real. I loved their dialogue. It was things I say to my friends now. Just the jokes that they told and the sarcasm. It felt like people I knew. I just found myself so heavily invested in the characters. I loved the mystery of who or what was behind all of the happenings in this community. Loved it. Could not get enough of it. And while it was supernatural science fiction elements, it made sense. I believed it. Do I want something like that to happen? Hell no, that's what makes it scary. It was just too good. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I tried to find something negative, a mistake, an error, something. There's literally nothing wrong with this book. A buddy read it with my friend Sharon Dwyer. Same thing. We were just like, there's no way that we were just like, this book is way too good. Beautifully written. No words were wasted. The writing style, phenomenal. Beautiful imagery. Braedon Riddick also gave me something I never knew I wanted until it happened. So you know how when you watch a movie, a TV show, or you read a book where the characters are dealing with maybe mind control, all the people of the town, they're innocent, but they're not in control of their faculties. They're being controlled by some other evilness. And the characters are like, we have to find a way to defeat all of this, but without harming any innocent people, you know, and so it becomes this ordeal of trying to beat the bad guy while not hurting any innocent people. So there is something similar on a lesser scale that happens in Ungodly. And the characters in that situation, they're like, they just take them out. There was no thought process to it. There was no thought, this is an innocent person. It was, I am in danger and I need to get out, and this person is impeding that, and they take them out. And I was like, I never knew I wanted that. I never knew that I was tired of that trope until Braedon Riddick was like, screw that. We're killing everybody. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. What does that say about me? It was so good. I just had the best time with this book. I loved it so much. You know, I normally read 5 to 6 things at a time. I was not reading anything other than Ungodly, and I didn't want it to end. The author's note at the end of the book said he wrote this some years ago and put it in a drawer and left it alone until a friend, an editor, was like, hey, you need to do something with that. You know, and so he says, if you read this, let me know. Should I have left this rotting in a drawer, or did I do the right thing and pull it out? Yes, you definitely should have pulled it out. In fact, go dump that drawer and shake it. Is there anything else in there that you can publish? I need more. I need more. I was so upset when I found out this was Braedon's debut novel. There's nothing else out there for me to buy from him yet, but when it is, and I absolutely hope that there will be soon, I will be getting it. You're going to see more of Braedon Riddick on this channel if he will publish it. Guys, if you love horror that has some leanings into science fiction and supernatural, I think you would absolutely love this book. I'm telling you, it is one of my top reads of 2021. I can only think of perhaps 4 other horror novels that rank higher than Ungodly. And I would actually put this one on the level with those 4. It was that good. Reread capability? Absolutely. I will most assuredly read this one multiple times, simply because there's so many different things I enjoy about it that I want to enjoy again. The writing style, the descriptions, the character interactions, the development of the characters, just the story itself. I really love this one. Guys, what do you think? Have you read Ungodly? Are you thinking you might want to pick it up? Is it on your TBR? I need to know in those comments down below. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in for this little review and discussion of Ungodly, the debut novel by Braedon Riddick. I sincerely hope to be bringing more on this channel from him in the future. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.